Ever thought about smoking some cheese, but you had trouble getting it lit? Well, folks, I got all the tips and tricks that you can do on any grill or any smoker. Looky there, smoked cheese. Come on, it's gonna get cheesy and I'll be ready for you to help me. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by the backyard for a quick tutorial on what? Some smoked cheese. Ooh, I love to infuse some flavor of smoke into all kinds of cheese. And the softer the cheese, usually the less time it is, the harder the cheese, the longer it got to smoke. So first off, folks, just get whatever kind of cheese you want to do. But I'm getting it in them slabs about like that, about that long. I got me some cheddar, I got me some mozzarella, and I got me some pepper jack. And before you start now, whew, here it is, it's getting warm already. Now, if it's going to be in summer temperatures to where I'm thinking if you're getting above 75, 80 degrees at your house, I want you to go ahead and put that cheese in the ice box. But put it in the bottom, put it in the freezer down there, okay? Or the top, wherever your freezer might be. And let's chill it about 20 minutes, you know, too? That way we'll know that everything is good to go, because hot temperatures, things seem to happen faster and that cheese melt, lose some of its shape. So get your favorite wood chips. I don't care what kind, but you can't be using a lot of big chunks of wood because we're not having a lot of fire. Just make sure that you give them a little soaking because we're going to need it. That was 2 handfuls. I'm going back for 1 more to make that 3. Get you some hardwood lump, whether it be oak or mesquite. But this is another thing that I like to combine different types of wood to give it a good smoky flavor. But I do love some good hardwood oak, maybe mixed with a little mesquite and hickory, and then throw you in a little fruit. Hey, you can't never tell, you might want to do the Fruit Loop dance, which starts and goes all the way around every time. Fruit Loops. Well, I got my hasty bake here, and if y'all are familiar with that, hey, we've cooked a lot of stuff on it, good grills they are. It'll have a grill pan up there at the top that actually holds the hardwood lump. Well, folks, sure, this will let down a long ways, but today when we use it, I want you to take your ash pan out if you got one of these. And hang on with me now. If you don't, I'm going to show you a method you can do this with. And I want you just to set it right there on the bottom. That's where we're going to start. That way we are that far away from it, but I want air to be able to get under it to where it can circulate all the way around and come back up. Now remember, like any kind of cooking you're doing with hardwood lump, you're going to let this get good white and ashy hot, and then we'll get some of them good wood chips and throw on there. But folks, I'm going to go ahead and just place this right in here for the time being. When it gets good and white and hot, we'll probably dump it out of that pan and put it right there. But I wanted to show you, we're not talking much heat. We may have to add just a little to this to keep the flame going, but folks, we want to make this to where it's not very much heat, but we get a lot of smoke. Cold smoke. Can you touch it? No, it's hot, but it's going to be a cold smoke when it gets there. So folks, let's talk about these different ways you can make this work if you ain't got that particular kind of grill. We're gonna always know that you're gonna need some of these aluminum pans, and you be saying to yourself, why do you have that one end bent over? Well, folks, it's hard for me to stretch this out. It won't reach that far, and Shan says this is the biggest one we got, so I have to build me a bridge for it to be able to go from here to there. And you need to have this because, folks, we're gonna fill that plumb full of crushed ice here in a little bit because we need to keep that cheese cool. But if you ain't got one of them grills like that, but you need to regulate your heat even more, I want you to get 2 of them pans to where you can stack one of them. One is sort of blocking you a little heat from the bottom there as well, but 2, it's going to let that stay a little further away from that heat. If you ain't got one of them, hey, find you a bowl or something in the house or an old dish pan or something that you can raise that off of, but still be able to have you a cold ice reservoir. And let your coals set as far away. Do you hear that echo? I can sure hear it. Well, them little old hardwood lumps is about ready to go. And we got our little wire rack here. Let me get some ice to put in there, folks. So since we're got that elevated, we don't need this one. Let me get this one back over here. We have our first contestant who just come out of the freezer. Remember, he's been in there about 20 minutes. Cheddar, some pepper jack, and some mozzarella. So you can see this ain't real hot. I'm wanting to create smoke, but not a whole lot of heat. So the first thing I'm going to do to this is I'm going to add me a little apple over here, 2 pieces of cherry, and a partridge in a pear tree. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get me a handful of them soaked wood chips, and I'm going to place right there on top. Maybe just a few more for sprinkling, and there you have it. Soaked wood chips. They're the best thing in the world to eat. Them coals is going to be on yonder end. The cheese is going to be on this end, indirect heat. So let's get our door shut. We got these vents down here. I'm going to open them wide open. This one over here, same way, wide open, because I'm wanting that smoke to circulate in a minute and come all the way around. Got the lid shut on it, and guess what, folks? We ain't gonna bother it. We ain't gonna talk about it. We're just gonna let it sit there and smoke some goodness into that cheese. Now I'm gonna check it in about an hour. For that mozzarella will probably go around 2, because remember, it is a softer cheese. That cheddar and that pepper jack, 2.5 to maybe 3. But you wanna keep an eye on it. And some of it, you'll have it happen, because I have too. You got a little hot. Some of them edges might round instead of being square. But don't think that stuff won't eat, because folks, it will. I'll promise you that. Well, we've been on about 50 minutes, probably close to an hour. So let's look around in here and see. You can see the smoke capacity has sort of begun to vanish a little. So one thing we're going to do is, you can see how these edges are getting smoked on this cheese already. And look, it is sweating. I would too if I was sitting over an icing fire. So we're going to add us a little more ice at this time. Okay. At 1 hour, I want you to do this. Take that cheesy and turn him over so much smoke can get right on top of that side. And you can see this mozzarella is already softer than this cheddar and this other. So we're going to roll him over. We'll get us some good color there. Shut that lid. But folks, we got to add some more smoke. You can see that ain't a lot of that burn out, and we didn't start with much. So we're going to add another handful of them soaked ones in there. We'll shut the door. Probably get her go about another 50 minutes to an hour, and that mozzarella will probably come off there. And then we'll finish up with that cheddar and that pepper jack. Well, we've been on 2 hours. We have, and it's time to check that mozzarella. Remember I was telling you a softer cheese might not take as long, so let's go ahead and look in here. Ooh, you can see that the corner has begun to lose the square just a little, but it is in good shape still. It's not too soft, so we're going to let it go on. But I'll tell you what, folks, we do need to add a little more ice to it. So let me get a little. So, folks, I'm going to show you when you get a hold of this mozzarella especially, and when you can mash it, and you're not leaving an imprint in it, well, we're in good shape all the way around. So, and you can see how it's changed colors here. So we're getting some of that smoke penetration in there. Everything is looking good. We've been on, what I say, 2 hours. So we're going to flip back that other way again. Shut the lid. But let's go ahead and check them wood chips and see if we need to add anything else while we're here. So we're going to give it a little more cherry wood. Maybe throw in just a little dry hickory. Get us some of that good smoking action to going. About another half hour on that mozzarella. We're going to call that rascal a done deal. It will be smoky, cheesy goodness. I want y'all to look at that. That's what I'm calling some goodness. Cheesy, cheesy, smoky goodness. Now, you could slice that right now and eat it. But folks, I'm going to tell you from past experiences, me and Dookie, because he is the cheese expert, I want you to let this set at least 6 hours. I prefer overnight in the ice box. It sort of lets all that smoky flavor get in there and just make it better. But I want you to let it sort of cool off there, which is not hot, but that way it won't sweat and have so much condensation when you place it in a baggie and put it in that ice box. Well, I just want y'all to know I cheated a little, I did. I just went about 3 hours out there in that there ice box because I was getting hungry and my cheese inspectors needed a sample. Now I'm gonna let them sample some of the mozzarella. So get on over here, both of you. Come on over here a little closer. And wait. The big is first. He has seniority. How many tail wags do we get for the smoked cheese?
That's a lot.
Huh? Come on. He's going to be the one that I take on first. Woo, Dookie, we're going to do the I feel like a rock star because I got me some smoked cheese. Woo! Folks, that stuff is good. Shannon said that dance wasn't worth much. We hope you enjoyed this. We do. And as always, I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and veterans and all the first responders and everybody that's keeping us safe in this time of crisis. We just lift y'all all up. And also, I'd like to thank Shannon, Andy, and the pups for helping me out on this video because they make it possible for y'all to get to watch. And remember now, the recipe, which really there's not a recipe, but all the steps and the procedures will be down there below in the little link. You can click on it and get right to it. Well, we'll see you every Wednesday and Saturday. God bless you each and every one. And I'll see you down the Smoked Cheese Trail, I will. Right above the vent is our local celebrity, Jose the Roadrunner. He greets us every day. Ooh, that's bothersome. I've been down that road before.